The trail sign was screaming when I reached it. The sound was thin, human, and came from nowhere I could see. I froze because the scream was using my name. I had planned a simple day hike through Gray Widow National Forest. The park map showed a loop trail with steady elevation and a waterfall at the halfway point. Families hiked here. Runners passed through every morning. Nothing about the place suggested danger, except the way the trees leaned inward, like they were listening. The scream stopped as suddenly as it began. Silence rushed in to fill the space. My heart hammered so hard, I felt it in my throat. I checked my phone. No signal. The forest smelled damp and metallic, like rain on old tools. I told myself it was an animal. Told myself fear sharpened imagination. I stepped past the sign. The trail was narrow but clear. Brown needles patted the ground and swallowed my footsteps. Sunlight filtered down in broken beams that never quite touched the soil. Somewhere far off, something knocked wood against wood in a steady rhythm. Not wind, too precise, too patient. After an hour, the forest changed. The trees grew closer together. The air felt heavier, as if it carried weight. My pack pressed harder on my shoulders. When I stopped to drink water, I realized the sound of movement behind me matched my pauses exactly. When I walked, it walked. When I stopped, it stopped. I turned around fast. The trail behind me stretched empty and calm. No animals, no hikers. Only the faint impression that someone had just stepped out of sight. I continued. The waterfall should have been near, but the sound of water never came. Instead, I heard breathing, low and deep. It rolled through the trees like fog and brushed against my skin. Each breath carried a whisper of words I couldn't understand, but somehow recognized. I reached a clearing where the trail split. The map showed no split. In the center stood a wooden post covered in scratches. Deep grooves ran over each other like tally marks cut by frantic hands. At the base lay a boot, half buried in leaves. It was old and rotted, but the laces were tied neatly, as if the owner had removed it with care. That was when the breathing stopped. Something shifted behind me, heavy, slow, close enough that I felt warmth at my back. A hand touched my shoulder. The grip was wrong. Too many fingers. Too long. I spun around, screaming. No one stood there, but the forest had changed again. The trees bent inward, forming a corridor. Bark peeled back to reveal pale wood beneath that pulsed faintly, like muscle. The trail behind me was gone. Only the corridor remained. I ran. Branches whipped my face. Roots snagged my boots. The sound of running followed me, but it didn't match my pace. It was faster when I slowed, slower when I sprinted. Always just behind. The breathing returned, now mixed with wet, clicking sounds, like joints bending the wrong way. I burst into another clearing and nearly fell over something on the ground. A backpack. My backpack. I stared at it in disbelief. The same faded red fabric, the same tear near the zipper. Inside, I found my spare shirt, my food, my journal. The last entry was dated tomorrow, written in my handwriting. The words shook across the page. It is learning me. Do not answer it. Do not look back. The forest screamed again. This time, it screamed in my voice, filled with terror and pain. The sound came from all directions and from inside my head. The trees trembled. Leaves rained down like dead insects. From the far edge of the clearing, something emerged, tall, bent, wrapped in shapes that almost resembled limbs. Its surface shifted like barks sliding over skin. Where its face should have been was a hollow mask, carved with my features, frozen in a perfect expression of calm. It stepped forward, and the ground dipped under its weight. Each step left behind a footprint that filled with dark water. It raised one arm, and my own arm lifted in response, against my will. Pain flared through my muscles as if strings had been pulled tight. I understood then. The thing didn't chase bodies. It mirrored them. It copied movement, voice, thought. Every step I took taught it how to walk. Every breath taught it how to breathe. It wasn't trying to kill me. It was trying to replace me. I turned and ran toward the corridor again. The forest screamed my name in warning or hunger. I focused on the rhythm of my feet. I refused to look back. The corridor narrowed until bark scraped my shoulders. Darkness pressed in. The breathing was inside my ears now, matching my own lungs perfectly. Light exploded ahead. I stumbled out onto gravel and collapsed. A road, park, service signs. My car waited where I had parked it hours ago. I drove away, shaking and sobbing. In the rearview mirror, the trees stood still and ordinary. No movement, no faces. The rangers listened to my story with polite smiles. They said people got disoriented sometimes. They said stress caused hallucinations. They showed me the trail map again. No split, no second clearing. That night, in my motel room, I showered until the water ran cold. When I stepped out, the mirror was fogged. Words were traced across the glass in clear lines. It is almost ready. I wiped the mirror clean and stared at my reflection. Smiled a moment before I did. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more. Thanks for listening.